Welcome to the CRM Pipeline Overview. Our pipeline is where we hold our sales leads. From here we can engage with potential customers to determine whether there is an opportunity to generate business. In this video I will show you how to navigate the leads pipeline, how to filter for group results, and also how to access messages and activities with these. When you log into your account, you'll be taken to the main dashboard, which you can see over here. Today I'll be taking you through the Odoo CRM, so we'll click into the CRM icon. We are taken here to our pipeline dashboards. Should we wish to return to the main dashboard at any time, we can simply go to the grid icon in the top left-hand corner. Clicking here will take us back to the main dashboard, where we have access to all our Odoo modules. Since we're focusing on the CRM module, we'll click back into this and carry on with the lesson. Here we have an overview of all our opportunities in the system. The view that we can see here is known as the Kanban view, and the opportunity is assigned to me as a user. This is a default filter that is based on the salesperson assigned to the opportunity. If we want to remove it, we can simply do this by going to the search bar and removing it. It will then show me all the leads in the system which are assigned to all the different salespersons here. And if I want to put this back on, all I do is go to the top, click CRM, and it will apply it back to my filter, my pipeline, and as you can see, all the different opportunities which are assigned to different salespeople have been removed. In this example, for our CRM module, we have a 4-stage process within the pipeline to move our leads and opportunities through. We'll be looking at creating and moving leads through our pipeline and adding any additional stages in Lesson 2. But for now, let's start our tour of the different functions, starting with the top navigation menu. Starting from the top left, we have our Sales tab. Within here we have 5 different options, helping us manage our sales and opportunities in the system. We have options related to our pipeline, which we can see here is our own additional pipeline, specified to us as a salesperson. All the different activities, along with different multiple pipelines from our teams, and access to our different customers. Moving along, we have our leads. Within leads, we have access to all the different leads in the system. These can be allocated from conventions, can be manually imported, and these can also be generated from contact forms from websites. On the reporting side, these are all the different functionalities we have related to reports for CRM. This ranges from dashboards with different views of pie charts, bar charts, graphs, along with pivot charts as well, to pull out that valuable data within the opportunities. Within our last section, we have configuration. This is where we can tailor Odoo to meet your unique requirements and make the most of the platform. Moving over to the right-hand side, we have 2 more options. Our first one is the Discussion tab. Here we have instant messages with users inside Odoo. Over here we have our Scheduled Activities. This is where all your scheduled activities are managed inside Odoo. You can see they are separated per module for you to easily see and manage. Moving on from this, a handy tool is the search bar that enables you to search for particular values stored against an opportunity. As I mentioned, the Filter My Pipeline is a default setting and shows all the opportunities that are assigned to me. If we move down to the Filter button, here we can see all the different options we can filter by. Within this filter, this shows the main and standard functionalities, which you might want to search under. If we go down, we can see a few here, which is by default on my pipeline. We can go through and see any which are unassigned to different users, any current opportunities within the system, any which have unread messages inside the chatter. We can also filter on any creation dates as well, so we can go down through here and look at any opportunities created in December. We can see if any have a specific closed date defined on the opportunity as well, so this could be set in December or any quarter set for the year. We can also filter any won or lost opportunities, so if I click on one, we lose all the other columns and then we just have the one set in the one column. Then, if we want to remove this filter, we can just select here as well. If we have archived any of the opportunities as well, this will show any which have been archived in the system, which we don't need anymore. The final option we have within this filter is Add Custom Filter. In here, what we can do, if we go over to Actions Needed, we can filter on any other fields within an opportunity. So if I were to pick one, for example, which would be medium, I will scroll down. It allows me to search for a certain value in the system, so I can do whether it contains, whether it does not contain. What I'm going to do is search whether it contains. Put a value in, email. Click Apply, and it pulls up all the opportunities in the system, which under the filter medium contains email is true. If I were to go inside the opportunity, over here, go to Extra Information, we can see if the medium is set to email. Moving on from filters, the next thing we can do is to group by. I will just remove this filter. If we go to Group By, select on this again, similar to filters, we have some default values which we can group by. These are the ones Odoo think are the most relevant to the system, and as you can see down at the bottom, we do have the Add Custom Group also. But if we were to select some of these, for example, if we go to Salesperson, what it does, it will assign all the different people in here and show us at the top of the Kanban stage of who the salesperson is. Since this is set to My Pipeline, it is only going to show my opportunities. But if I remove my pipeline, you can see we have a few more users in the system, and it filters them as a salesperson. If I were to go to Group By again, we can go down through this, and we can go through all the different options in here in the system. For example, we can go to the medium. As you can see here, we have a few undefined which have not been set in the system. We also have some emails and a phone number one as well. If we were to go further down on this, as mentioned before with filters, we can also add a custom group in the system. We can filter on all the fields which have set values in the system, and we can pull through and segregate all the data based on these groups. Another way we can view this data instead of the Kanban view is in a list view. If we go over to List in the top right over here, we can click on this, and now we can see the data separated by the 3 different values which it pulls out. Next to email, we have 2 entries next to this. If we click that, it will pull this down, and we can see both different opportunities. Same with phone number, and same with undefined. If we find a selection of filters or groups that we are interested in, and we feel we might use multiple times repeatedly, what we can do is make this a favorite in our system. If we go over to Favorites, just under the filter, select into this, and we can go to Save Current Search. What this allows us to do is create a custom filter and group by, and then we can save this as a favorite in the system. We can use this if we want to have a certain search criterion, which we find quite relevant to what we do on a daily basis. And we can save this so we can use it without having to enter the criteria every time. The first option we can do is rename this to something more relevant. This is for Medium, Group By. We also have 2 options below this. We can set this as a default filter, so every time we come into the CRM pipeline, it will use this filter by default, and we also have the option to share this with other users. If we are happy with the setup, we can just click Save, and in doing so, this generates our favorites in the system, as we can see over here. To demonstrate this, what we can do is go back to our main screen for CRM. In the top left over here, and by default, you can see we have My Pipeline. If you want to change this, all we do is go to Favorites in here. We can see our new filter that we have created. By clicking this, you can see, using the same criteria that we entered for it, this is filtered by group for Medium, and we can see all our different opportunities in the system. If we go back to our Kanban view as well, all we need to do is go over to the right-hand side, go back to our Kanban stage, and it will pull this up for us. As mentioned before, we can see we both have ourselves as the administrator, and we have the opportunities from 2 different users as well. If we don't want to see this anymore, all we need to do is go up to Sales and go back to My Pipeline. What this will do is add our filter back into the system. Moving back over to the right-hand side where we have our Kanban view and our list view, we have a few other icons, so we can search on our calendars. This will show us all our different scheduled activities we have in the system based on dates. We can also pull through our pivot chart. This will be shown more in the reporting side of these videos. And again, this allows us to break down the data and really pull out those figures. We have a few more options with our graphs and cohorts. We also have dashboards in the system as well, which we can use our filters, which we discussed earlier on this. We can also see our scheduled activities as well. As mentioned before, this shows all our scheduled activities in the system, along with what the scheduled activities are. These are the ones that need to be done, and we can see some are late, some are for today, and some are for the future as well. If we go back to our CRM pipeline, and we can do this by going to the top left and clicking on CRM, we can see each Kanban stage. Either new, qualified, proposition, or one, it has a line underneath it. Some of these have a color. Some are green, some are amber and red, some are clear. These represent the different scheduled activities assigned to each of these Kanban stages. So under New, we can see that we have one scheduled activity for the future. If we click into this opportunity, we can see we have a scheduled activity which is for 5 days in the future. For this one over here in Qualified, we have 2. We have one for today, which can see this one over here is amber, and one over here as well, which is red, which is overdue. What we can do as well, if we click onto these, onto a red one, for example, which is overdue, what it is going to do is hide all the other opportunities in the pipeline and just show this one at the top. Again, same for the amber one, which is for today. It will hide all the other ones and will hide all the overdue ones in the system, and it will just pull the one up for today up to the top again. This is an effective way to filter through the system on all your different opportunities on any that have any outstanding tasks for today or in the past. Moving on from this, if I just remove our filter, I can go into one of these opportunities. Let's jump into Liam's opportunity under the Kanban stage New. Inside here we can see this is Liam's opportunity, and going through this you can see quite a bit of information, some of which have not been populated because it might not have been captured from the user yet. They might still be in conversations with the customer. Also, we have a few different options as well. At the top we can see our different Kanban stages, so we can see what stage it is in, which we can see is currently new. From here we can create quotations depending on our permissions. We can also mark this as 1 if we feel this customer is ready to move forward to a quotation and generate a sales order. Or if we feel this customer does not want to progress further with this inquiry, we can mark it as lost. We have a few more options down in our extra information also. Depending on what sort of information the opportunity wants to provide us, we can populate this over here as well. Things like the contact's name, the job role that they are in, and any more contact details with a mobile number, that sort of thing. We can mark all these in the system, and this will help later when we come to reporting. Now you know how to navigate around the CRM pipeline, filter and group activities, and access your messages and activities. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, where we'll be looking at how to create and amend leads.